And we've been closely following the recent deaths of Americans in the Dominican Republic. At least 9 tourists have died after becoming ill on the island paradise. The big question is why? Their families want more answers, but officials in both the U.S. and the Dominican Republic have not said the deaths are connected. Let's bring in Joseph Scott Morgan, joins us now, distinguished professor of applied forensics at Jacksonville State University. All right, let's talk just your vantage point on this. Do you have questions about how Dominican health officials are handling things?
Yeah, I do, Mike. The biggest question for me is, where are the toxicology results? There's a couple of cases where these have been left pending. I don't see anything before me that has given us any clear clues, and therein will rest our answers.
Got it. What should health officials be doing right now to provide answers and at the end of the day find out what's causing these deaths?
Well, I'm hoping that they're not moving too quickly on these cases relative to just trying to get them back out of the country to the families. This type of thing takes time. But it shouldn't take so much time that we're waiting a year, for instance, in some cases, for toxicology results to come back. Also, has there been a sufficient examination of the tissues at autopsy? I'd like to know the level of care that's been taken in these autopsies. I've heard a couple of people use the term heart attack to describe these deaths without any toxicology results being returned. And for me, a heart attack really means nothing. You're not saying that it's a myocardial infarction or some kind of rhythm event. You're just simply saying heart attack. And that's not actually a cause of death. Got it.
And have you seen just reports of some kind of timeline, 48 hours, something has to be done with the bodies? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, well, this is the thing about it. In America, when we investigate deaths from a medical legal perspective, the bodies are going to be taken to the morgue where a thorough examination will be done. The autopsy will be done, fluids will be drawn, and tissue samples taken. And then those will be processed. I haven't even heard, standard, say, for instance, a standard panel of tox coming back. The things that we look for at autopsy here in the U.S., opiates, cannabinoids, those sorts of things. That's just the standard. And right now, Mike, because of the clustering of these deaths, I think that they might be looking for something a bit more exotic. I'd look at pesticides, bad alcohol, all of these sorts of things. And right now, I don't have much confidence in the way this is going.
You hit on two of them real quick. Tainted alcohol. How are you testing for that? And is that one of your potential theories?
Yeah, it's out there. You can't, at this point, because we have so little information, you can't discount that. I think that it's important. Remember, just a few years ago, they had a problem at the resort in Cancun, I believe it was, where you had a lot of people that were getting sick. And all we have to do is look back in our own history with things like bathtub gin. We know that this is a highly toxic substance that people can take on.
Now, the Dominican health officials, they say testing's been done, the food, the alcohol, the air is normal. What about the air? Are you concerned about pesticides, and how would that play out in this?
Yeah, one of the things, in some countries, certain pesticides, things that are, for instance, organophosphates, they're banned here, but you go to other countries and they exist. I'm curious, did anything get into the air handling system? These are insecticides that you spray onto, the plants to keep the resort looking beautiful and this sort of thing. Did anything get into the air handler? Has anything, leached onto a drinking vessel, for instance, or just to surfaces? Some of these insecticides, Mike, are actually transdermal, which means they can be absorbed through the skin. Look, for me as a medical legal death investigator, nothing is off the table. They need to be as thorough as possible. I'm glad the FBI is there. I would like to see the CDC take a very active role, particularly the epidemiologists that are going to be studying these clusters.
Got it. Joseph Scott Morgan, always good to see you. Thanks again so much. Yeah, and we're hoping, number one, for some more information out of the Dominican Republic. Also this, he will join us, Joseph Scott Morgan, on HLN as we delve deeper into these American deaths in paradise. Don't miss our brand new special, Vacation from Hell. That's tonight, 8 Eastern, right?